Sam was dangerous. I mean, he was just totally insane. I mean, do things that were absolutely ridiculous. He believed in satanic worship. He frothed at the mouth when he'd go into a rage.
Mad Sam defends himself. Speaking through a bullhorn, he turns the pretrial hearing into a circus. For the camera-shy outfit, Mad Sam's antics are positively dangerous. If there's one thing that sends hardened mobsters scurrying for the shadows, it's publicity.
That's kind of the way Sam was. And he had to be eliminated.
On April 14, 1973, two outfit hitmen silence Mad Sam. For good. The mob will kill even its own to stay out of the spotlight. To the FBI's surprise, the trial judge acquits mob killer Tony Spilatro. It's a bitter blow for the feds, but they persevere in their search for informers. It's their best chance to get the mafia. Then, in early 1974, street crew boss Joey the Clown Lombardo is indicted for embezzling $1.4 million from the Teamsters Union pension fund. Lombardo is awaiting trial, but the feds need more evidence to convict him. A small businessman steps forward. His name is Daniel Seifert. Seifert is a legitimate entrepreneur who naively went into business with the mob.
My husband, Daniel Seifert, was looking to start a fiberglass business. Mr. Lombardo said that he would lend him the money. The business went fine for a few years until Daniel started realizing that they were laundering money through the business.
Lombardo's stolen money buys goods and services from suppliers to produce Seifert's fiberglass. When the fiberglass is sold, Lombardo takes his now clean money out of the profits.
Joey was washing the money through there, and Seifert didn't want to go to prison. He was going to roll. He was going to become a government witness.
The outfit gets wind of Seifert's decision. Friday, September 27, 1974. The Seiferts go to work as usual.
Our youngest one, who was 4 at the time, Joseph, decided that he didn't feel good that day, so he wanted to go to work with Mom and Dad.
Daniel Seifert is outside when the mob pays them a visit. Even though they wear masks, Mrs. Seifert thinks she recognizes one of the gunmen.
We heard a gunshot, and the minute I heard the gunshot, the man that was standing with the gun at my head left my side, and he said, "Stay there and don't move." So I waited. I couldn't tell you how many seconds it was.
Then Mrs. Seifert goes outside.
There was a man in the middle of the driveway holding a sawed-off shotgun. And my husband was at the other end of the parking lot. Injured as badly as he was, that was the last time I saw him.
The last memory little Joe Seifert has of his father is of him lying dead in the parking lot.
I remember seeing my dad laying there as we were driving by. That scene's, definitely stayed with me my whole life.
Mrs. Seifert recognizes Lombardo, but does not tell the police. She has 3 young children and is terrified of what the mob might do if she talks.
All the defendants walked, and I recall watching these men come by with a grin on their face like the cat had swallowed the canary. And that stuck in the craw of the federal government for years and years.
On July 18, 1974, the feds get yet another opportunity to strike at the mob. Ex-outfit boss Sam Giancana is extradited from Mexico in order to testify regarding mafia involvement in CIA plots to kill Cuban leader Fidel Castro. Giancana wants his old job back as boss. The feds are afraid current mob boss Accardo might want to kill Giancana. He's a valuable witness. They keep him under surveillance for nearly a year. June 18, 1975. Giancana is preparing his favorite dinner of sausages and beans. Suddenly, unbeknownst to Giancana, the police protection around the house evaporates.
I had asked a captain in Chicago PD, and he said, we got a phone call from the police. It said, pull everybody off right now.
A mysterious gunman enters the house and assassinates Giancana. He puts 7 bullets into his head. The outfit has silenced its former boss. No one knows why the security detail was called off, and no one is convicted of the murder. In the late 1970s, a case is brought against a mob hitman that could finally result in a murder conviction. Harry the Hook Ailman is indicted for the killing of Teamsters steward William Logan. This time, the feds have 2 eyewitnesses.
A man named Bobby Lowell, who testified that he saw the actual shooting happen, saw Harry Ailman kill his fellow Logan. They also had as a witness in that case the driver of the car, of the getaway car, the hit car that night. He also testified.
The Chicago mob needs a good lawyer to get Ailman off. They turn to attorney Bob Cooley.
I got a reputation almost immediately as being somebody who not only knew the right people and had the right connections in the system, but somebody who could get something done.
Cooley craves success. And working for the mob, he gets the kind of wealth and privilege his family never had.
I came from a poor background, from a poor family. My father was an honest policeman who never went further than detective because he was ultra honest.
Winning the case will cement Cooley's reputation with the mafia. He puts his neck on the line and assures the outfit he will get Ailman acquitted.
It was so important to these people to make sure he was found not guilty because, again, that's what it keeps everybody else in line, knowing that this is the power structure that can protect you.
But for Cooley, there is no protection if Ailman is convicted.
I was ready to leave town if that happened because I knew what would have happened to me had I not succeeded in what I agreed to do. Oh, I would have been killed, no question about it.
Cooley gambles on the direct approach. He meets with trial judge Frank Wilson.
I agreed to pay him $10,000 to handle the case. He was a nervous wreck, as was I. I was afraid that he was going to find him guilty. I really felt he might.
Cooley's gamble pays off.
Lo and behold, the judge stunned everybody when he ruled and acquitted Harry Ailman, feeling that Lowe's testimony was not strong enough, etc., not credible.
The unexpected acquittal of Harry Ailman causes a public uproar.
There was outrage. The citizens felt, look, the only way you're going to get convictions on these guys is Uncle Sam. The FBI, the IRS, they've got to be involved. The Justice Department. It's obviously not going to happen in the civil courts.
The outfit's influence on the courts has been exposed, but the mob will continue to rule the streets unless the feds can break its grip on the judiciary. Ailman's acquittal makes Bob Cooley a star with the outfit. Other gangsters flock to him. He will do whatever's necessary to get his clients acquitted.
If it took money, if it took ingenuity, I had all kinds of scams and schemes to get my clients to walk. It became like an ego thing with me.
Cooley becomes very successful, making the kind of money he could only dream of while growing up. He spends thousands of dollars gambling.
It was like a dream world. I mean, get up when you want, do whatever you want, whenever you want. Always have a pocket full of money. There's nothing that you couldn't do. It was a fabulous life. I loved it.
But Cooley's dream world will crumble when a crusading judge exposes the corruption in Chicago's courts. The FBI is losing the battle against the Chicago Mafia. Its corrupt lawyers and judges ensure indicted mobsters get acquitted. The city is under mob rule. Chicago is divided into 50 administrative wards. They are run by aldermen who hand out municipal jobs and contracts. The money to bribe the judge who acquitted Harry Ailman of murder comes from the wealthiest and most powerful of these precincts, the First Ward, run by Alderman Fred Roti. The real power in the First Ward lies with its secretary, a man by the name of Pasqualino Marconi, better known as Pat Marcy. Marcy's ties to the mob go back a long way. He and Tony Accardo both worked for Al Capone.
Pat Marcy was a gunman with the original Capone mob. He became the head of the First Ward. The First Ward controlled everything. We're talking from the governor on down.
Pat Marcy and Crooked Alderman Fred Roti hold court in the Counselor's Row restaurant. The mob's star attorney, Bob Cooley, is a regular at their table.
Once I became a part of the First Ward inner circle, I was able to help friends become judges, was able to help my family do a lot of things. I mean, it's hard to explain how powerful that they actually were, but there was really nothing that they couldn't do.
In the restaurant, Marcy and Roti hand out government jobs and contracts, from which they take a cut.
Here's a known made member of the mob, Pat Marcy, and you had all these state and federal judges who would come over and pay homage to Pat. If you wanted to be a judge, there was a price tag.
Through Pat Marcy, the Chicago Mafia controls the city's political fate. Marcy pays underprivileged communities not to vote. In 1979, Cooley witnesses the extent of the outfit's power when the new chief of police, Joe DiLeonardi, launches a crackdown on crime and corruption. Fred Roti gives Chicago Mayor Jane Byrne an ultimatum: remove DiLeonardi, or we shut down the city. Because of Marcy, the syndicate controls the city services that keep the city running. The mayor has no choice. DiLeonardi is replaced. It's an astonishing display of the mob's power. Crooked politicians, judges, and police officers are on the outfit's payroll. The feds cannot convict any of them without first breaking the mob's influence in the courts. But the judiciary will not inform on each other until one honest judge decides to make a stand. Brockton Lockwood is a judge from Southern Illinois. He's sickened by the corruption he finds in Chicago's courts.
Once I found out that people were paying certain judges, maybe 10% of the judges were just outright crooks, pay guys. Once I found that out, I thought, well, I am not going to work in this system. But before I quit, I'm going to disclose this to somebody.
In early 1981, Judge Lockwood calls the Justice Department in Washington, who persuade him to stay on and help them fight the outfit.
They basically said, if you will verify this for us, we'll do something about it. I said, all right, I'll do that. How do I do it? They said, you wear a wire.
Wearing a tape recorder inside his boot, the judge starts gathering damning evidence against Chicago's corrupt judiciary.
When I put the device on, it scared me to death. This recorder is so heavy that it's like dragging a ball and chain, and it's flopping around so that I had to tape it to my leg very tightly. It caused the blood vessels to break in my foot.
But the crusading judge perseveres, pretending to be as corrupt as the crooked lawman he meets.
So I went out and recorded Assistant City Attorney